So I arrived. I am staying in an Airbnb for like a few weeks. So here is my room. Nothing fancy. Then tour the rest of the place. Kitchen. Then it's outside. Real hot. Hey, Desi. It's not on you. That's one of my roomies. Yeah, so that's it. It's hot. About to relax for a little bit and I'll come back later. Okay, you guys, I am I'm close to the strip, but I'm like off the strip on the Main Street area, also known as Fremont. So I just wanted to see what was going on before I got to the big strip. Check a couple things out. So I can't turn my camera, but this is what my view looks like so far. With the amount of time I was given, I think it's cool, you know, you got all your stuff in, your licensing and all that, and then, you know, boom, and now you got to come out here. You know, can you start next week? And, you know, because I was waiting for, you know, waiting to hear back from the company and get everything in order, I was like, yeah, you know, I've been waiting. But unfortunately, you know, as you know, with waiting, you are, you know, you're limited to certain options. So, for example, like flights. You know, flights have a thing where they could be higher. Of course, booking reservations and stuff like that, some things might not become available. I booked Airbnb. This was my first Airbnb, guys. Like, I didn't know that it was a shared type of Airbnb. And when I say shared, like it did specify private room. So I was expecting like maybe other people or like a certain part of the house to be rented out to someone else or whatever the case is. But I didn't know that people did Airbnbs and they actually shared their home upon getting here, arriving to Vegas for the first time. Now, you know, I'm getting a feel of the place. It's super, 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 super hot. It's like, you know, 100 degrees minimum. And even at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's like starting at 90. So coming from the New York side, I'm definitely not used to that, but it's not bad. It's not like 100 degrees with like a 80+% humidity where you're like perspiring and you're down and you're drenched. It's not the experience like from the beginning with being in a shared space. Now, I guess I can say I'm kind of spoiled. I moved out of my mom's house when I was 17, and outside of maybe like relationships, you know, I've never had a roommate. I've never shared with anyone, just because I like my own personal space. Like, I'm a super friendly, easygoing person, but when it comes to like my personal space, I just don't want to be bothered. Like, when I come home, that's like my recollection time. I get a tour of the house and meet my room. You know, I've thrown out those features like, yeah, you know, do you wish to upgrade? I have a more of a suite style of room that contains like a mini fridge and, you know, more extra space. And I was like, no, I'm kind of good where I'm at, especially because I've already paid you, which was another thing. And I don't really know how Airbnb works towards the end, but it's just more so like, it's not like a hotel. So they instantly take your money. You know, it's not like per day or like, you know, hotels in the end, you pretty much, unless you're doing like a long term, I guess, you pay when you're gone. So was the host like? The host was fairly friendly for the most part. He was an older guy. So right off the bat, like especially having a boyfriend, it was just like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna work out. Granted, none of the other Airbnb options worked for me because some of them didn't have television, some of them didn't have laundry in the area that I needed. Some of them, like there was one person that was renting, like that said something about a living room, meaning you pay her for the month or something like that to rent out the living room. And I was just like, I'm not staying in nobody's living room. I at least need the private room. So he had the best option. And like I said, I didn't know he was going to be there. Like he actively lives there. Like this is his home. So it was just, I think that made the experience just a little bit more interesting, so to speak, because now it's like, you know, this is your house. So, you know, went over the typical house rules, where to put your food, this is your room, and then having a shared bathroom. But all in all, it was like weird, not different. Like it's like literally living with someone that you don't even know. And it's like a forced thing, like I have to be here. Because another thing, like I reached out to Airbnb, especially not knowing the situation. And I was like, well, it's been like a couple days. What if I have to come back home? Or what if there's an issue? And it was like, well, we typically don't give money back. You know, if you're staying for a long-term stay, the host, you know, gets all the money. You kind of have to go through the host first. Really ridiculous. I'm being with a guy that was older, that was like walking around the house. His bedroom was really not too far from mine. Again, it was just weird. I felt like I had to, you know, kind of creep in a way. And I don't mean creep, but like, you know, be courteous to others, as opposed to like if you're in a hotel. Granted, there are still people that are also in that hotel with you, but they're not in your living space. So it was just very weird having to label my food initials and, you know, store it away, all weird. You know, sharing a bathroom, which I hate doing in general, but it was weird. But then at the same time, it was just more like, it wasn't terrible as opposed to what I could have been paying or doing, or spending probably $1,000 in fees alone at at a hotel. Will I ever do an Airbnb again? I mean, I would say it'd probably be a lot better, of course, knowing the exact dates that you're going to be someplace and then more questions if you're not really for sure, because being that I was in a rush, it was more like, I'm not really for sure. And I did ask questions, but I still didn't ask enough questions, if that makes sense. Never do a shared room again. I definitely don't want to be in the place to where the host or the owner is living there. At the same time, it's more like money. That's what I kind of got the vibe of with Nevada. It was more like it was always about money. So, you know, Uber and Lyfts were like triple the amount of money that it costs for any of my normal travel stays. Like if I'm in New York or if I've been to Texas or someplace like that they were like tripping with the Lyft for money. When you pay to stay someplace, you expect to be able to kind of do what you want to do. It was just those little chip-ins, like, you know, he probably complained about the internet being slow. Well, you have 5 bedrooms, you know, people are going to connect their devices. Be courteous when you shut the microwave door, because it is on my bedroom side in the back. So I'm like, well, you installed this microwave and stowaware set here, and you can't shut the microwave door. So like the little things, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, I had to definitely, like, I'm speaking and voicing this to you guys, just the obvious, but, you know, for those who will see this and probably know me, you're gonna know, like, okay, well, she definitely wasn't on hush about it. Like, I like to observe things first, and then, you know, make sure I get a good gauge as to what I'm doing, where I'm going, and, you know, how I'm gonna approach things. And then if I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm not feeling this, you're gonna have to watch how you're talking to me. You're gonna have to come correct. It will be known, it will be noted. I remember that my first week, that weekend I went out, I asked one of the other ladies that was staying in the room, or the home with me. She was supposed to go out with me. I'm not feeling it. I'm not gonna go out, or whatever the case is. So she was only me and her, the only women in the house. So I'm like, okay. But me being me, I'm a loner, so I always go out and, you know, do stuff anyway. So I was just like, okay. So I proceeded to get dressed, you know, looked good or whatever. Getting ready to walk out the door. I get into the kitchen dining area. The host was sitting there, like in all black, dressed up, hands crossed, like the feet crossed, And I looked at him and I'm like, oh, are you going out too? Where are you going? Because there was another guy in there and he had just said that they were talking about going out, or whatever the case is. So I assumed maybe they were going to go out. He was like, no, the woman said, you know, the other person, since she's not going, I didn't want you to go out by yourself. Now, granted, I do appreciate the courtesy because, you know, at the same time, he was a very super extra friendly person. It's just like, you know, I want to be known. I want to be in the, you know, I want to be of the know. I want to know what's going on. But to me, I was just like, no, I'm going out by myself. You know, I do not need you to tag along with me. You know, first of all, age difference. I'm in my 20s and he's 60 something. So, no. I like to be able to like go out, party, enjoy myself without the need or urge to operate on someone else's time. So, and then on top of that, guys, he was never invited. You said you had plans with your other guests, not me and her. So I don't know when it switched to everybody's going, but that wasn't the case. But all in all, again, it wasn't like a super terrible experience. It was just a real different one for me. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever stayed at an Airbnb and maybe had some other issues. So if you want to get some engagement from, you know, a travel agent perspective, and then of course, you know, personal leisure travel, please feel free to leave comments below because I do want to know your experiences. Vegas is everything. Well, party-wise, drink-wise, star-wise, got black people. It's a little mixture of everything. But I'm out here, y'all. So. So guys, I am in Vegas, now at the Fashion Mall, like outlet area. Even though I don't need shit, I'm still here. Right now I'm on Las Vegas Boulevard. So, nice walking area. Nice little tenant. Now I'm in the Venetian. It's so cool in here. I gotta go grab water. So I'm definitely like a tourist, guys. Like, they're like, ma'am, where are you going? So I wore a fanny pack as well as some sneakers because I'm walking on foot. So you guys can see that, but I got some sneaks on because I ain't really got time for anything else. much smoke. Let's see. That's the line to get into the high roller. I'm not doing that. First of all, look at that, y'all. It's ridiculous. Do this in zip lining. You want to make sure you have your activities booked in advance. Because if not, you're going to end up back here and all the way up there. Still here. Yeah, you can go ahead, sir.
That's right. I like that one. What you doing, though? Like we got things up in the house. Then you gonna show us in a minute. All the bump, remember the bump last? That was back in the day, man. But that was a cold dance back in the day. Cold dance. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. What's she doing over there? I see what you're doing. Pump a lot, baby. Look at, come here, girl. Oh, man. That's pretty damn good right there, man. Go ahead. Yeah. Y'all looking good out there, man. Give yourselves a round of applause. What you doing, dog? Oh, shoot. Come on, clap your hands, y'all. Everybody get together one time.